Well, I gotta say, this is the first time we have seen record breaking storms explode around Amarillo. So, the San Antonio missions taking on the Amarillo Sod Poodles game and live stream was postponed this evening due to threatening weather and plus tornadic activity. And yeah, there was a lot of it. You had a storm about northwest of Amarillo that was really on the lookout point. Then you had storms just right outside of Odessa and Midland. And so far, they just were on alert. The storm chasers, the news media outlets, they're on alert. And plus, watching that on YouTube. And Reed Timmer, a storm chaser who loves to chase with his buddies and stuff, is pretty good. I was watching his live broadcast, and yeah, they're in Lubbock tonight with the Dominator, and that is a vehicle that won't get destroyed, even though if it gets hit by damaging hail or straight line winds or anything like that, that type of vehicle will withstand the power of Mother Nature itself. A lot of people didn't get so lucky, seeing how big that hailstorm was. Baseball to grapefruit size hail falling from that storm itself. And that's what pretty much canceled the San Antonio Missions game tonight up in Amarillo. With storms exploding, you had a tornado watch, a severe thunderstorm warning. You had a flash flood watch, an airport weather warning, and then a flash flood warning. You had a lot of things going on there in Amarillo. But as we look at tomorrow and Sunday, there could be another potential of dangerous storms. And there could be tornadoes involved. So basically, it's that time of year again, during the baseball season, April through September, and even into the holidays, like Thanksgiving or Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas and New Year's, and even into New Year's Day. I mean, you never know. I gotta say, I've seen a town get wiped off the map by an F5 tornado in December. And I'm trying to think of the name of that town. It was in Kentucky. I think it was Mayfield, Kentucky. In December 10th through the 11th. It was midnight hour as that storm approached. And Mayfield was wiped off the map. Big F5 tornado came right through town. And I saw that on the news. And even on my computer that evening. As you had people that had all their Christmas things out. Christmas was in a few weeks. And then you look at that evening where a major outbreak was going. You had a tornado outbreak that stretched from Oklahoma all the way to Kentucky. And it drove it eastward. And that tornado outbreak lasted 7 hours and 3 minutes. So yeah, you gotta always be alert, Listen to your local weather and pay attention. Watch the clouds. And if you see something spinning or you see tornadic rotation, run. Do not wait for it to be on your location. Run, you know, because it might be too late. You wait the last minute, it could be right on you. But anyway, take precautions. If you're out chasing, stay safe. If you see a tornado coming, you go to your lowest level of your home, away from windows, and protect those that you love. And, protect yourself too. That's the most important thing. It's an active year. I mean, we're almost into the month of May. You got May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, New Year's. It's going to be an active year. And I think the whole year is going to be very active. I mean, you never know. I mean, you could have the holidays being very active. But through the past couple of weeks here in the great state of Texas, we've actually seen tornadoes. We have seen straight line wind damage. And we go to the city of Midland, Odessa. It was Thursday evening as Amarillo and San Antonio about ready to play the ball game, and they were under a tornado watch, and there were storms just to the south of Amarillo. And we had that straight line wind come whipping through town, and it first went through Lubbock, and then the next spots were the Midland, Odessa area. And anyway, as somebody was in Odessa on JBS Parkway and 42nd Street, where you head towards out of Odessa on 42nd, 42nd becomes 191. Somebody was there filming as this wind front came in. 111 mile per hour winds took down a lot of trees and power lines right next to UTPB, that college campus and stuff. And anyway, boy, I was like, whoa, that was a straight line winds, tornado force type winds that went right through Odessa. And I watched it, and boy, I tell you what, that was just terrible. The sky was brown and dirt was flying as that wind front came in, and boy, they could literally take your car off the road, an 18-wheeler off the road. It could take even your house off the pavement. If you live in a trailer, it could do that. But anyway, that was a wicked day there in Odessa. And then today we saw thunderstorms. We saw Reed Timmer and his gang chasing out there close to Lubbock. And Amarillo. Yes, they did cancel that San Antonio Missions game out there in Amarillo. And it's a good thing they did, because they are practicing safety protocol. When you have thunderstorms around the area, potentially trying to cause tornadoes to form up and big, large, damaging hail, it's a good thing, because you don't want to be out there playing a baseball game and all of a sudden you have to stop what you're doing and you have to stop the game and you have to really postpone the game. But anyway, it takes me back. We look at Wichita. We look at Waukeeta, Oklahoma, and where my friend lives in Muskogee. and Tulsa and all them spots up north, Oklahoma. We look at so many places. I'm trying to think of something I was going to say, but when I mention Oklahoma, I mention the great state of Tornado Alley. But yeah, anyway, you always got to be alert when you're facing things like this, tornadoes, straight line winds. Pay attention to the weather, and hey, you're good to go. But anyway, it's been one heck of a week. We had 5 days to work. Finally have the weekend in front of us. We're going to go out and have fun tomorrow. We're going to go out next week and have fun. And then guess whose birthday it is coming up? It's my 32nd birthday, which I'm getting that day off and go out and have fun. And I do whatever I want to do, just to go out and have fun. So, yeah, anyway, if you want to wish me a happy birthday, just write it down in the chat below. That would be awfully nice. So, yeah, we're going out to West Creek, baseball game, go out to eat. I'm going to have a pretty good day. Then return to work for Friday only, and then the rest of that weekend, I could celebrate. I could have a good time. Really, I can have a great time. But yeah, 11 o'clock on this Friday night. And yeah, I know it was kind of sad that we did not have no baseball game tonight. Even though with severe weather around the area, it could be like this tomorrow. Mother Nature is getting ugly with all the tornado warnings and tornado watches. That's like the second day in a row that Amarillo has seen tornado watches get issued on them. And then you had storms northwest and south of Amarillo. Crazy, right? Our San Antonio missions are there, and I bet they'd be like, oh wow, look at the sky. It looks dark. There's going to be hail. There's going to be lightning. There's going to be heavy rain and stuff. Oh, yeah. About Wichita. I remember what I was going to say now. It's a good thing I mentioned the hail and stuff and the tornadoes and all this other stuff. But anyway, we look at Wichita. There was that ball game against the Frisco Rough Riders and the Wichita wind surge. The top of the third inning, and Rough Riders lead 3-2 against the wind surge. And all of a sudden, here comes this big thunderstorm right over town. Hail was about that big, like baseball to golf ball size hail. And yeah, it came right over the ballpark. You see, the ground staff, they were putting on the baseball equipment just to protect themselves from getting hit in the head by hail that's traveling at 130, 40 miles an hour from the cloud downward. And, well, I tell you what, they got the tarp on the field and they said, you know what, we're not playing anymore. 3.5 innings worth, we are done. So they suspended that game and they said, hey, you know what, we'll play tomorrow. We'll finish this game and then we'll do the next game right after that. We'll finish that and get going forward on probably a 7 or a 9 inning ball game. But anyway, another spot we look at is Midland. We look at Midland, Texas. You know, Momentum Bank Ballpark, home of the Rockhounds. Used to be Security Bank Ballpark way back then. And during the time that Midland was going to play the Tulsa Drillers that one evening, and all of a sudden, here comes the hail. Yeah, big, huge thunderstorm. And it was not just an ordinary thunderstorm. This storm, straight line winds. You had shingles coming off the ballpark roof. You had wind damage. It was a downburst. And yeah, you had hail, lightning, and heavy rain, and strong winds. Winds that were probably blowing from maybe 100 to 130 miles an hour. And yeah, I mean, I never forget that way back then. I think that was like 2017 or 2018. And then we look at Tulsa. Yes, we had Tulsa taking on Amarillo. It's about the top of the 8th inning. And Amarillo had 9-3. They were in favor of the ball game there at One Oak Field in downtown Tulsa. And yeah, here comes the storms. You know, the storms came in, and about 8 innings, Amarillo took the ball game by a final score of 9-3 through 8 innings. Yeah, cloud to ground, lightning, heavy rain. Tarp was on the field, the whole 9 yards. Then we look at Frisco. The Rough Riders, Texas Rangers organization. There's been multiple sightings. You know, there was this one picture that I looked at, and there was the storm clouds in place. And I don't know who they were playing that evening, but there was tornado on the ground, and so far a lot of places that need a watchful eye on severe weather these days. But anyway, we look at Brady, we look at Brownwood, we look at Weatherford, we look at all the spots up in North Texas, even the Panhandle, and even San Antonio too. We got to keep an eye on these towns, because you never know. I mean, you get some bad thunderstorms. It might have been a second day or a third day, however long we've seen these storms fire up. I mean, this is like second day watching storms explode around Amarillo. And I was like, well, dadgum, this is crazy. But, you know, there's more days ahead that we could see the same around Amarillo. And, you know, San Antonio is about 2 more games taking on the Sod Poodles, and they'll be home taking on Corpus Christi and Frisco. Also, when the Rough Riders are here, it's going to be my 32nd birthday. So, guys, write me down. Wish me a happy birthday. That'd be much appreciated. And so on. But anyway, we're going to get this episode uploaded. And yeah, we do have a busy day tomorrow. Season 6 of Horseback Riding Adventures, and also the return of Ranch Hand Adventures Season 2. So we're going to do that, and we're going to have fun. We got a lot of filming to do, and just going to have a fun weekend. But anyway, hopefully Mother Nature will be good for us. Well, I mean, this will do it for this evening. We're going to have a great day tomorrow. It's been a long week. It's 11 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and hit the hay. Until then, we'll see y'all in the next one. Be safe, and always remember, keep your eyes on the weather. Be alert. at all times.